Morning. As we were just talking to Jim about 38-17 loss for your team at Rhode Island, a game that you're up 17-14 with 5 to go there in the second quarter. Just give me your impressions on what happened in the game.
Yep, I felt through the first half, we kind of attacked our game plan, what we felt we needed to do to have a chance to win. Um, when you look at the time of possession, sort of the ball control, not giving, he hit the nail on the head. We've got a bug about giving up the big explosive plays, and we simply have to get better at that. And we needed some things to go our way. I don't know if what the replay issue was, but we felt we had a turnover there before the end of the second half that didn't make it back to us. They did score 10 points there late in the second quarter, and I thought that would have been a good momentum for us to have that ball in their territory. But it is what it is. We didn't get it, and we just have to simply do a better job of executing. And second half, they made some adjustments, took some things away from us in our offense that we're going to learn from and hopefully apply this week.
With Jim just talked about it, but being able to control the ball for 39 minutes when you're facing an offense with some of the weapons they have, was that a big part of the game plan going in?
Absolutely. We felt we had to continue to chip away one play at a time, take our shots when we could take our shots, and come up with some big plays. Elijah Elliott came up with one or two there that were big for us, and then Tristan Riley as well on some key third down conversions. We wanted to live in the world of third and short, and that's where we had to execute on first and second down, which I think led to, we were close to 50%, I think, on third down conversions, and just making sure that we slowed the game down enough to keep it within striking distance.
Talked about Elijah Elliott, quite an afternoon, 83 yards and a touchdown on the ground, and your leading receiver too, 5 catches for 84. Just talk about, he's had a great year all around, but just talk about how he has developed into such an all-around weapon for you.
Yeah, he is, he's our best football player in offense right now. And he's somebody that's week in, week out, just have to find different ways to get the ball in his hands, whether it's handing it off to him or letting him catch out of the backfield. And I think he presents a little bit of a mismatch when it comes to linebackers trying to cover him in man coverage, which we do the best we can to take advantage of. And, he's just been steady Eddie for us and a good leader.
Jaden Keepner back at quarterback and 196 yards and a touchdown. I know a couple of interceptions he'd probably like to have back, but he also 67 yards on the ground. So a pretty good day production-wise. How have you seen him kind of continue to grow, and what are the next steps for him to be where you like him to be?
Sure. You look at the 2 interceptions that he had. One of them, I wish he knows he wishes he could get back. That was the pick 6 there late in the fourth quarter. He has done a pretty good job of protecting the football for us. And then the second interception was the final play of the ball game where he was throwing the ball in the end zone. So up until that, the pick 6, Jaden's done a very good job with decision making and throwing the ball to our guys, which is the most important piece. But again, we know that for us to control the ball, he's got to run it at times, and we continue to develop his packages of different ways that we can get some +1 running to help us stay down that track.
Defensively, Olatunde McFaru, a big day, forcing a couple of turnovers, as Jim touched on. He forced the fumble on Buchanan early in the game, and then picks off a pass there at the 1-yard line. Just talk about the afternoon that he had, making some big plays.
Sure. Tremendous amount of respect for Tunde. He was the young man whose mom passed away, who last week I was at the funeral with him at his home. And, he's had a tough year, and it was great to see him respond the way he did. Now he'll tell you he wish he never had to make the kid strip the ball on the first play of the game. I think he would have rather have scored a PBU there than a strip. But the end zone play was big off of the tip. and that kept us in a tight ball game. He just continues to get better and better the more he plays, and I think he was the young man who recorded the most number of snaps for us last year, and um, this year as well. I think he's on that track. He's just gets better as he continues to play the game.
You touched on it earlier in your comments, and Jim did, about giving up the big plays. As a coach, what are some of the things that you're trying to instill in your guys to stop that from happening? Because you've been solid a lot of the parts of a lot of the game, and then get bit by some of the big stuff.
Well, a lot of it, when you look at it, they're head scratchers. You know, a lot of them are lack of communication, or the wrong call. You know, those are things that it's not from a lack of effort or lack of technique. It's just simply, um, you know, we've had too many guys run wide open down the field, because of a lack of communication or the wrong call that was made. And, you know, we're asking ourselves the same question. You know, we may have to simply simplify even more and just play simple schemes a lot more, maybe getting too complex. You know, we've asked ourselves that quite a bit here in the defensive staff room this year, and we'll figure it out.
Looking ahead, another nationally ranked team on the schedule. This time, though, at home, as you face Monmouth. Obviously, they're one of the top offensive teams in the nation. As you've started to look at them, how do you deal with all their offensive weapons, and what impresses you about what they do?
Well, I think they're going to take advantage of what you take away. When you watch them and the way teams have played against them, they best offensive line I think we've seen all year. They're going to run the football. We know they're going to run the football. I mean, they're going to turn around and give that ball to 20, probably 30 times. And, you know, if you load up the box to take away the run, well, then, you know, they're going to throw the ball, and they're pretty good at that too. You know, so, you know, we're going to have to do some things and either disguise when we are, when we're not. You know, we know that since the change of quarterback there, I think that they find themselves in a similar situation that we're in. They may have somebody different back there throwing the ball, but he's still pretty good too. You know, but we know that in order for us to have a shot against Monmouth, we're going to have to do a good job on first down and try to control and corral that running game, which is going to be very difficult because nobody else has done it either. So, you know, that's our goal though.
When you play teams like that, is the goal? I guess it's easier said than done, because they've done it to everybody, but try to make them a little bit one-dimensional.
Yeah, I mean that is the goal. The problem is that they're one dimension. Whichever side you take away, the other side's pretty good. And that's the part where you know, you kind of pick your poison on who you want beating you. And you know, there's death by 1,000 cuts, and there's also a sword through the heart. So, you know, at the end of the day, we're gonna do the best we can to try to keep them off balance a little bit. And then at the same time, you know, offensively, we can't give them the ball in short fields.
Just building on that, on the other side of the ball, their defense had been sort of their Achilles heel, but it's a unit that has seemed to progress as the year goes along. What have you seen from them when you watch tape?
Yeah, I see exactly that. I see a team that's gotten progressive, a defense that's gotten better and better. You know, they're they look much better now than they did early on, which is, I think, the hope of every coach, you know, that when they coach a team. So Coach Callahan does a very good job, and those guys have progressively gotten better. You know, the ability to, I can imagine how they must what they must practice like, you know, when if you're a defense and you're practicing against that offense every day, you know, so we know for us to run the football is going to be tough because that's all they see, a very effective run offense. And but we're, again, you know, they're a ranked team for a reason, and we know that we have our work cut out for us.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for doing this with us this morning, and I look forward to talking again next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care. Again, for media members on the live, if you have questions for the coaches here today, just use the chat feature or raise your hand icon.